Cece's in there saying U.S. Marines in the house, Semper Fi.
Yes, yes, Sister Cece. Yes, she the
Yeah.
TEDx speaker. She's a powerful sister.
Yes, she
Yes, yes,
is.
yes.
Yes,
And
she
well, we
is.
only bring powerful people on this platform, and thank God you had time in your 29 different things that you said you do. I think you have LLC. That's how much you got going on. But we
That
thank you.
that that it's no disrespect, but that might become one of your nicknames. We're gonna call you LLC.
LLC. That's it. Why they call him LLC? Because he got so many of them. Well, please come back again, and we definitely want to continue the connection and the relationship. You've got a lot to share with our real men as we all continue to move forward into the new normal. And I know you got more than 20 minutes worth of stuff to teach, so we are definitely going to have to keep you as part of the Real Men Speak movement. Okay.
Absolutely,
Yes, thank you. I
absolutely.
appreciate that.
Thank
All
you, my
right.
brother. Peace and happiness.
All right, that was Amara
Woo.
Mari. Man, you you
Yeah.
you got some lightning bolts there, Velton. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, I tell you what, I met that brother a few years ago, and like I said, when we sat down and talked, I mean, the knowledge and the experience ex- that he holds was amazing. And he's a person who shares, and that you can tell by all of the companies that he has are service oriented businesses. He's helping other people. I mean, he works with youth, he works with former offenders. He does a lot of that kind of work, and he's just an amazing guy. So
Yeah.
I was glad he got on and came on today.
And Queen Amani just gave him a new LLC, King
King
LLC.
LLC.
I love it. And see, that's what I'm saying. That's when you got the real women supporting their real men.
There
She
you
just
go.
elevated them just like that. Just like that.
Boom.
Well, we're going to keep the elevation going because we have another brother that I have known for, well, I'm not, well, I already said how old I was hours ago. So if you were paying attention, you already know. But I have known this brother since high school.
I was
And the
gonna
brother
say,
was
yeah.
speaking clearly and speaking succinctly there, and he's just taking it to an even higher level. We call each other monarch because men were reared and raised to be monarchs, the kings of the jungle, the kings of their territory. And he is blazing his own trail in his own territory, showing people and organizations how to say it well, a new personal and professional development methodology. And he is the author of the book Say It Well. And he is also another member of Toastmasters International. And he is about to
Hmm.
bring the heat to the stage right now. So, welcome, my good friend, to the Real Men Speak Summit platform, Mr. Derek Lott. Mic check, mic check. One,
Mike
two, one,
Chad.
two.
Night
Mike
chat.
Chad.
What up, Monarch?
Hey, what's happening? How are we?
We are
We are
good
great.
and blessed to have you here. So,
Yes,
what
yes. Thank you, guys.
we know you're going to teach us how to say it well and therefore do it well, as only real men should. So, the stage is yours. Welcome, Mr. Derek Lott.
Hey, well, I appreciate that. And I'm going to start off with a little bit of an appetizer. We have been talking over the last couple of days with some great men who have had some real talk. And when real men speak, real actions can occur, and real action leads to real change. And so I hope to add my voice to that conversation. And as I said, if I could give the tease out a little appetizer, what I would say is the first and most important thing is remember your story, your history does not hold you back. It is not preventing you from success. Your history, your story is what makes you great and what will catapult you forward. So many of us will talk about we didn't have the education. I came from a single parent home. I didn't have a father in the home, but I didn't want to use that as an excuse. I guess I could. The reality is we all have a story. And as Dr. Kimbrough said last night, that, hey, look, you can use that story one time, but after that, you got to move on. And the reality is we have the ability to accomplish anything with three things. And that first thing is our minds, the ability to think. The next is our hearts, the ability to show compassion for our fellow men and women of this great planet we cohabit with. The other thing we have, and the most important, is the ability to cultivate a relationship with our Creator. Those three things, no matter what your circumstance, you can navigate your way to success. You see, the reason why Dr. Martin Luther King said we didn't need to worry about using our fists is because we could use our minds, we could use our hearts. And it is true. One of the things, a little parenthetical aside, if you're ever in church and you come across a hymnal, I tell you what, you need to grab a hold of it. Because in a hymnal, you will find the messages of hope for a troubled people. I'm reminded of the hymn that says, I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore, very deeply stained within, sinking to rise no more. But the Master of the sea heard my despairing cry from the waters, lifted me, now safe am I. The hymn goes on to say, love lifted me. It wasn't action and violence that I took that lifted me. It was love. It was the heart and compassion that lifted me. And I want to share with you tonight as an appetizer, as I get ready to set the table for the meal, that you understand that the reality is you have to use your mind. You have to use your heart. And that relationship that you cultivate with God. As I move the rolls away and the appetizer plates and begin to set the table, I want to say this. The most fulfilling thing in life beyond a dream is to see a dream come true. We all have a mission. We all have a purpose. We all have a destiny. We heard last night, if you listen to the roundtable, that our destiny doesn't have an expiration date. We have some place to be. We have a mission. And I know some people may think that life is random. It's just, oh, some people win, some people lose. But guess what? I guarantee your mother didn't think that. I guarantee your father didn't think that. I guarantee your predecessor, your grandmother, your great-grandfather, your great-grandpappy didn't think that. And I tell you what, I was in a wilderness because I subscribe to that thinking. I was lost in a wilderness, thinking, oh, whatever, life is what it is. Maybe I'll succeed, maybe I won't. But the fact of the matter is, everyone that has come before me has lifted and stood on each other's shoulders. And I found myself laying down on the job. My mother was a single parent mom, and she raised me up to have a good education. That was her legacy to me, to have an education, to have knowledge. And I would say knowledge without doing is not knowledge at all, because to know and not to do is not to know. And I think the previous speaker said that knowledge alone is nothing. So all the books in your library, if you've taken none of the action from the wisdom that is coming from those books, you have nothing but a bunch of paper. We have to put knowledge to work. To know and not to do is not to know. And my mother handed me a baton. She said, Derek, I don't leave you much, but I leave you an education. I hear you, Mama, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. And I have to do that because I get a little emotional when I think about my mother and her handing me that baton. And she told me to continue the race. You see, so many times we look back at what we didn't have and how our parents mistreated us or didn't give us the best of everything. But understand this, they hand you a baton, not to look back, but to look forward and progress, moving ahead, to gain in knowledge and wisdom, to take care of yourself and ensure that you grow from where you are. Don't lay down on the job. Don't lay on the shoulders of great people. You stand up and you do your part. You see, her gift of education and knowledge helped me to understand that the most important resource that we can unveil by having a good education, by taking knowledge and putting it to work, is power. 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 When you have knowledge, you have power. And we've heard that growing up. Knowledge is power. And I take that a step further. Power acted upon. Knowledge acted upon is the ability to create power. So when we think about power, and we think about our plight in society, it's about our ability to have power and influence. And see, so we gather knowledge, and that knowledge, as was also said over the course of the last couple of days, validate your sources, verify your sources. Don't just accept every person's word that is given to you. Dig in and learn yourself. Find out the truth for yourself. But when you have that knowledge, you have that understanding, you begin to understand this great land we live on called America, which there's a distinct difference between America and the United States. America is a continent that encompasses our neighbors to the north and south of the border. So when you think of America, you think of everyone on this continent. But when you think of the true American has dark skin, dark eyes, and dark hair. But when you think of the United States, the constitutional republic, you get a different view of the world. And see, knowledge will begin to give you that understanding, because in our great republic, we understand this, that the supreme power, there's that word again, power, the supreme power belongs to the people and the people they elect to act on their behalf. That's why you have to vote. That's why you have to be an educated voter. Education, there it is again, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. You see, one of the things I understand about this word power, it's one of the reasons why we're struggling today with some of our challenges. Why is it that we try to control the way people feel about other people? I can't make you like me. I can't make you like someone else, but I can ensure that you don't hurt them. I can ask the question, why would you physically mistreat them? And see, in our great nation, we have a problem. And I submit that, yes, there is racial injustice, racism, social injustice, but it's more a question of power. You see, I know that Asian Americans have a checkered past with racism all the way back to the 19th century, and they have seen an onslaught of it since the coronavirus. We need to educate ourselves on that, because they are catching some difficult times right now, because they are being blamed for the spread of the virus, and they are seeing some racism against them right now. Anti-Semitism is on the rise in our nation. If you didn't know, I'll reference that as well. So we know that people don't like other people and dislike other groups of people. But here's the thing. I don't see Asian young men with police placing their knee in their neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I don't see a Jewish young man with his yarmulke on with a nightstick on his neck choking him where he cannot breathe. Why is that? And I'm drawing my own conclusions here, ladies and gentlemen, from 54 years of being on this planet, being a Black man, having experienced it firsthand. All I can come to as a conclusion is they have the ability to influence. They have some power. They have some substance. Martin Luther King was asked the question, what is the greatest plight of the Black man? And Martin Luther King said this. He said, the plight of the Negro is the fact that he has been subject to thingification. The Black man has been turned into an inanimate object. And when you take away the human characteristics, you now have a thing. And you can abuse that thing and you can mistreat that thing. But even more importantly, you can have no sense of guilty conscience. See, this is why we have to educate ourselves. This is why we need to understand and gain power through education and knowledge. But folks, I want to talk about this power from a few different vantage points, because I'm just building a little backdrop of a case. If we're going to succeed, if we're going to carry it forward, if we're going to stop laying down and we're going to start standing up, we need to increase our power. So I want to talk a little bit about the ways you can increase your power. The first we've already talked about, knowledge. knowledge. You have to take knowledge and turn it into action, because that way you can bring about change. And make sure you verify your sources. With all of the inputs we have from social media and other sources, you can be misinformed. So make sure you do the work to validate your sources. Don't just believe anything that is spoken to you. The next thing you need to know to build power is network. Network. Who is in your Rolodex? And I'm reminded that I need to back up a minute, because some people may not know what a Rolodex is. I was in a group of young folks the other day and I said, who's on your Rolodex? And they looked at me like a dog with a new bone. I said, okay, your contact list. Who's in your contact list? You see, I was with a group of my peers not too long ago, other professionals that have had a distinguished career similar to mine. We're neck and neck. They're no better than me. We're at the same level of the organization. But what I recognize, a stark difference between us, me and them, these were my white counterparts that are my peers, was their Rolodex, their contact list, the people they associate with. Some were fellowshipping with CEOs of other companies, entrepreneurs of great esteem, other people. Many of them have had the opportunity to brush elbows with great people in the Black community that I would only hope to one day grace a stage with. Your network is power. Your network allows you to have influence. You want to know why it's sometimes hard to find a job? Look at your Rolodex. You want to know why it's sometimes hard to find out which way to go to get the right insights? Look at your Rolodex. But today, between yesterday and today, I guarantee you, you can level up on your Rolodex. There have been somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 dynamic speakers. And by the way, Terrence and Dalton, I cannot stress enough how amazing this platform is. I have been tuned in. I've been taking notes. I have been building up my muscle, because this, you can't get this. I don't know what you would pay to have this group of dynamic speakers assembled in a 2-day period. Just to let alone the roundtable yesterday, I would have paid thousands to attend. But I digress. The fact of the matter is, we've got to increase our power. So look at your network and level up your network. Begin to reach out to have more people that in your network that can influence movement in your career and in your life. And the last thing I will give you, number 3, so we talked about knowledge, we talked about network. The other thing I'm going to talk about is ownership. Okay, the economy of the Black man is in despair. There is a disproportionate amount of economy in America. The dollar in the Black community sticks around probably less than a day for sure. And I think it's probably less than 12 hours. And I'm referring to research done by Maggie Anderson, who wrote a book called Our Black Year. For 1 year, she tried to buy from only Black businesses. Very interesting read. I don't know how many of you support Black-owned businesses in everything you do, but I tell you, I have learned so much about my own habits about supporting Black-owned businesses. We have to own things. We have to own real estate, not take out a 75-year mortgage. We have to own things, and there's no reason we can't own things now. We have to be smarter with our money. We have to make sacrifices, own things, pursue things that have value. The key to gaining power is your knowledge. It's your absolute ability to create a powerful network of friends and network of people that can influence and change things. And your ability to own assets, to own a business, to write a book, to create art, to own things that you create using your hands. Because when you do that, you create the ability to make wealth, which creates a legacy. See, we talked about power, and I've got to just skip over a little bit to the physics behind power. You see, power is the transference of energy. The transference of energy, and I'm going somewhere, so stick with me. Power, for those of us that were back in physics, remember the equation P equals W over T. Or better said, power equals work over the transpiring of time. It is a transference of energy. Energy, power equals transferring energy. That takes me right back to legacy. You see, legacy is all about passing on wisdom, wealth, well-being to our family, friends, and future generations. A legacy is constructed of wisdom, well-being, and wealth that we pass on to our friends and family and future generations. Are you catching the connection here? There is a transference of wealth. There is a transference of well-being. There's a transference of wisdom to our family, friends, and future generations. When we take a look at our lives and we look back on it, it won't be about the fancy gym shoes that we wore, the suits and the jewelry and the fancy things, and that's okay. Those things will burn up, but it will be about the lessons we taught our children. It will be about the wisdom that we passed on as it relates to how to handle finances, how to be a better person, how to be a person of integrity. It'll be about wisdom. It'll be about wisdom. It'll be about well-being, taking care of yourself. I don't know how much I can stress it. As a community, we need to take better care of ourselves. We need to see doctors. We say, oh, I'm not going to see the doctor. I'm not going to see the doctor. Well, no matter what you choose to do to diagnose the current state of your well-being, you need to seek insight on your well-being. You want to be around as long as you can. You want to be as vibrant and astute and alert as long as you can. And lastly, wealth. And isn't it interesting? Wealth, for me, is the third pillar because it's not always about money. Because, see, money can come and go. There's markets. You can have $1 million one day and zero the next. Passing on wealth gives people the ability to acquire assets. But with wisdom and with health, we can acquire wealth. We can acquire those things. So we are transferring, a legacy is the transference of power. A legacy is the transference of power. And I hope to transfer a lot of power to my kids, to those that I love, and to those people that I've mentored throughout my career. I hope to pass on to them power that can build and that can multiply and that can become dynamic so that we can see the day where they won't put their knee in our neck because they know we have influence. They know we have power. And as I go to my seat, I'm already in my seat. Oh my gosh, this virtual world, this virtual world. But as I close, I want to leave you with dessert. I love to read. I love to take in the ideas, the thoughts from so many others. But as I look at social media, as I look at your social media, I ask, what is your voice? I love the fact that you can put up a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King, from Gandhi, from Thoreau, from Socrates. But what's your voice? What's your quote? What's your words? And as I close, I offer you my words. As I move along in life, one thing occurs to me. I will not be moved by the heart and soul of a lost society. I'll believe in me. And as I look across the waters of the open sea, I'm reminded of the endless possibilities of a soul that will evolve until eternity. I will believe. I will believe in me. Terrence and Felton, what a wonderful platform. I can't wait to hear what's coming next. I'm getting back to my notepad and taking it all in. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Man, oh man. Wow, Derek, that was phenomenal.
Thank
Man.
you. I appreciate that.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you. Now, all I want to know is what instrument did you play in the band? Because the tune you just left on our show was off the charts.
Hey, well, I played the trumpet, and yes,
Hold that against
yes.
you.
There it is. I
Being
knew
a
it.
sax man myself, we're gonna hold the trumpet against you. He was smooth as sax in his speaking
Yeah, but he just trumpeted a message for the
I tell you
ages.
what,
That
I've
was
been inspired. You
phenomenal.
guys are fantastic. Again, thank you for the platform and taking the action, because it's the action that's going to bring about the change. You did things that people talked about. You went and did it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you know what they taught us at our
We
high school.
appreciate
You know,
you.
we don't talk about it, we be about it. And since you are in our South Florida area as a Toastmaster as well, we definitely are going to connect with you with the next stages of the Real Men Speak movement. We want to keep this energy and this
Mm-hmm.
synergy going
Absolutely.
forward.
Absolutely. And before I drop off, for everybody listening, please make sure you donate to South Florida Feeding America. If you do, send me a copy. You'll get a copy of my book, Free Say It Well. It is a valuable resource to help you with your communication skills. Effective communications will help you in every area of your life: personal, professional, social, and spiritual. Again, donate at the link and show me that you donated and it's on its way to you.
And
Thanks,
how
guys.
can they reach out to you with their confirmation page?
Go to Derek C. Lott at outlook.com.
All right.
Eric C. Lott at Outlook.com. And I see your queen is in the room, and I'm sure she's going to put that up in the feed as well. And it's nothing like real men speaking and having their family support them. We've seen that throughout the day. Where
Hey,
men,
love y'all. Love y'all. Hey, family. Hey, family.
There you go. Hey.
absolutely, I love it. Thank you, Derek, and we look forward to hearing so much more from you. That
Thank
is
you.
Derek C. Lott, doing it real big. Check out his book, Say It Well. Again, you got to go to the fundraising website if you want to get a copy of Say It Well. Go to www.firstgiving.com/team/401-620. I'm about to play that in the lottery tonight. I just know I am. And then email Derek C. Lott at Outlook.com to get your copy of the book. Man, oh man, we couldn't getting close to dinner, but he done already fed us, Velton.
Whew, man, I tell you what, I'm full after that. That was off the chain. He was
Yes,
phenomenal.
indeed. And you know what? Then I guess we about to get overstuffed because somebody is coming on that he has this name that just says
Yeah,
power
but
all
you know
throughout.
the thing is, Terrence, uh, he's an exercise guy, so we getting ready to work off some of this food that we've been fed. Cause he gonna. I hope he doesn't think I'm gonna get up and do any jumping jacks while he's here.
I was about to say, hopefully he don't ask us to get up because that might not be the sight he wants to see at
That's
4.
my point. Exactly. We're not doing no exercising. So go ahead and introduce him so we can make this clear when he comes on the microphone.
Absolutely. Well, as you just said, he is a personal trainer for 14 years, been featured multiple times in the IDEA Fitness Journal magazine, and he goes by the name Blaze. And he has worked in kickboxing, hip hop, CrossFit, and he has done other things as an endurance coach. And he also is a spoken word artist. You know, we have had men on here that are
Mm-hmm.
multifaceted, and that I just love that. He's spoken at schools, prisons, at different conferences, and he is also a member of Pembroke Pines Toastmasters organization, a 2020 Area 14 Table Topics first place winner, and a third place winner in the Table Topics of Division A. And his mission is sharing his purpose and helping others align with their purpose. So let's bring on Mr. Purpose Driven, the Blaze man himself, Mr. John Blaze Goldsmith. Mic check.
There is.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
There is the
All
man,
right.
the myth, and the legend. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. How about yourselves?
Well, we are great
Not as
now
good
that
as
you are
but
here.
we're great.
So we know you've got a word to speak and a word to share with us. So we're going to turn the mic over to you on the Real Men Speak platform. This is John Blaze Goldsmith.
Awesome. So, at this Real Men Summit, what is a real man? What exactly is a real man? What determines a real man? Is it their wealth? Is it their voice projection? Is it their accomplishments, their strength? A real man listens, then roars.